Hey there guys, Owen here. Press start to continue with another of Owen's awesome reviews, where I'll be reviewing Until Dawn on the PlayStation 4. Until Dawn is a PlayStation 4 exclusive brought to us by Supermassive Games, and it tells the story of a group of 10 teenagers who decide to go stay away at a cabin in the middle of the woods, and at the very beginning of the game you play through and two of the friends basically go missing in the woods and are essentially presumed dead. You actually play through this beginning part of the game, and a bunch of your friends play a trick on one of the other girls. She runs off having a bit of a cry out into the middle of nowhere. Her twin sister decides to follow her, and then they both basically, it seems like they're getting almost tracked. This is all in like the first 5 minutes of the game, so it's not any really spoilers, but basically it looks like they're getting tracked by something. They fall off the edge of a cliff, they fall down and are then presumed dead. The game then starts a year later. The twin sister's brother Josh, who is still alive, decides to arrange for all the friends to come back, so the other 7 friends who are obviously still alive, to come back to the cabin on the eve of the disappearance of the twin sisters to try and basically have a really good time to cherish the disappearance of their friends. And this is when all shit starts breaking loose. I mean, I really enjoyed the story on Until Dawn. There's lots of different twists and turns. For a long time, you don't even really know sort of what's... Because obviously, it's a survival horror game. Something is stalking you. But for a long time, it's very unclear who or what it is. Sort of quite early on, you see who looks like some sort of psycho. There's some sort of crazy dude going around. I mean, it's really difficult to tell what it actually is until later on in the game. Obviously, I won't spoil it for you, but the story is it works really well. Just trying to figure out what's after you. Because it seems, like I said, there's psychopaths, maniacs. It even seems like there's ghosts at some points as well. So it's quite cool trying to figure out who's obviously stalking these kids. Because it's clear something is, but it's not very clear what it is until sort of the later parts of the game. I also really like the characters as well. They're really, like, the characters in the story are really sort of believable, sort of horror teenage cliches. So you've got the dumb jock, you've got the bitchy girl, you've got the guy who's really popular, you've got the sort of slutty girl, all the different sort of classic cliches that you get in loads of different horror flicks, and it works really well. It really feels like a genuine horror film, but an interactive movie. So yeah, I just thought the whole story, it works really cool. And what I like as well is that you can, obviously you've got the main story, but you can also search for clues throughout the game, which it then expands the story as well, and you start finding out sort of what happened to the twins. You can figure out the sort of side story of the maniac. You can figure out another side story for the actual sort of what happens in this mountain. But yeah, just the whole story, I just thought it goes really well. And what I really like as well is that the story obviously changes for each playthrough, because like the big thing that Until Dawn has is what's called the butterfly effect, which is essentially a decision-making tool that they use. So depending on what choices you make will greatly affect, some choices obviously only minor effects, but some of them will greatly affect what happens in the story later on. And I mean, some games have done this before, but I've found Until Dawn is sort of the first game that has done it so well, and it really, like I said, it really does feel like you're playing an interactive movie. Whereas other games, things like, I don't know, Heavy Rain for instance, I enjoyed it, but there were definitely some problems with the whole interactive nature. It didn't really seem to affect it sometimes, the choices you made. Whereas this one, like, there's a choice you make right in the first 5-10 minutes of the first chapter. There's a choice that you make, which if you make the wrong choice, when you get to like sort of late, like another halfway through the game, it will affect what happens, which is really cool, because like you'll completely forget about what you've done, and then you get to this point, it's like, oh shit, because of what I did there, it's now made me fail this part of the game. which is I really like. I thought it was a really cool way of doing it, and it gives it a lot of replayability as well because you've got so many different choices. I mean, it advertises got like 1,000 different things you can do. I mean, I don't know if there's actually that many, but there is a lot of different choices you can make. I mean, I've already gone through the game twice, and both times I've got completely different results, and lots of different things happen throughout the game. So yeah, I just really like that aspect of this game. Another great thing about Until Dawn is the fact that it is actually genuinely really, really scary. I mean, and it's got a good mixture of different types of scares. It's got some great jump scares in there. So like some just suddenly jump out, it will properly scare the shit out of you. And there's other bits which are a bit more subtle as well. So they use like the music that they use is done really, really well, and some of the music is proper creepy. And so you'll just be sort of wandering around the lodge, or you'll be wandering around the woods, and it will have some music in the background, and you'll generally be feeling like really freaked out, and you're like, I don't want to go any further because something's going to get me in a second. And it really makes you tense as well. So there's some bits I was just wandering around and I'm thinking, shit, someone's gonna get me. And then when nothing happens, you think, oh, okay, I'm fine. And then something does happen, and you freak out even more. And yeah, I really like how they do all that. And like this sounds that you like, background sounds as well, is done really well. So again, you'll be walking through the woods, and you won't. There'll be like sometimes you'll hear like an animal or something in the background, but there'll just be complete silence, and then all of a sudden someone will jump out to scare the shit out of you. Or something like that, and or like you'll be in the lodge and you'll hear a door suddenly open or close and it seems like for no apparent reason. It starts freaking you out. And I really like how they do some of the camera angles as well. Like some of the camera angles look like they've been shot like a movie would be shot, and obviously that builds up the tension as well. So like you'll have a camera angle coming from like the corner of a room that looks like someone staring at your character. And it obviously creeps you out because you think, shit, I'm being watched by something. And yeah, I thought that was really cool. Just the whole sort of setup, how to do all these extra things to freak you out. Because that's the whole object of the game. It's a survival horror game. It's a scary, like I said earlier, it's a scary interactive movie. So they want to do as much as they can to scare you as possible. And I found it works really well. I mean, obviously the first time I played through, I was shitting myself so many times, just jumping and freaking out. But then I played it the second time through, and I'm thinking, second time, I'm going to remember a lot of this stuff. But still, some stuff gets you. And even though you kind of remember what you've done the first time around, because of the whole choice butterfly effect mechanic, obviously some things are different, so you get to the point it still freaks you out and stuff like that. So, yeah, I've just thought it's that, like the whole using the different music, sounds, the camera angles, and everything just really brought the scares to the game. And I mean, also the game looks incredible as well. It looks absolutely amazing. It's one of the best looking games I would say on the PS4. I mean, the actual different areas you can go to. So again, like I mentioned, the lodge, the woods. You also go to get some creepy mines as well. There's a few other locations you go to too, and yeah, they all look amazing. And again, some of them look really creepy, but they all look like, especially the actual woods and the wilderness and the mountains, looks beautiful. Some of the sort of areas that you see looks really, really good, and also the characters as well look amazing. You've got, because they use like the mocap and all that sort of stuff, facial recognition, to really make the characters look like they're real life actors. Because that's what they've done again, like a lot of games are doing nowadays. They've got real life actors, mocapped them up, and then got them to do all the scenes, do all the facial recognition. So they look really, really good. Like some of the big actors that are in there, you've got Hayden Panettiere, who was from Heroes. You've got what's his name? He was in Marvel Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., played Grant in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I can't remember his name now, but both of them too, like as soon as you see them, it's like, I recognise them. But yeah, so all the characters though did look really, really good, and they're all played really well as well. Like you can really believe, like I was saying earlier, they're really believable cliche characters. So like the voice acting and the facial expressions and everything really sort of makes you believe that this character, like the bitchy character, is a complete bitch, and you really believe that because of the voice acting is done so well. There's like there's the nerdy guy who again is acted so well that you really believe, yeah, this is a nerdy guy. And again, it just sort of brings the game to life, and it makes it even more believable. It makes it just better. Makes everything a lot better. Makes it a lot creepier in places when like characters react to different scary moments and things like that as well. So just the whole presentation of the game was really, really good. The basic gameplay of Until Dawn really reminds me of like the classics of our horrors like Resident Evil, especially Silent Hill as well, where you've got like the third person view. You've got, like I say, you've got it from the various different camera angles as well, which I really like. That's the sort of old school survival horror. I think they're a lot scarier than a lot of the newer stuff that have come out recently. And for me, I definitely think that adds to the scares to make it a lot more creepy, as I've already said. But then, other than that, sort of obviously that's sort of moving around and stuff like that. But a lot of the gameplay actually comes in, as it's like an interactive movie. It comes with sort of the conversations you have with other characters. So you'll get into a cutscene with a character, depending on the choice you make, will then change the outcome of the next part of the game, or even later on in the game as well. So there is quite a lot of cutscenes in there, which are all interactable. So you'll be like making the different decisions. There's also quite a lot of the gameplay is done via quick time events as well. So again, like if you're sort of running away from something, then you might have to do some quick time events to sort of duck under like tree branches, or jump over like gaps in the walls, or use like a weapon against someone or something like that, depending obviously the situation, what's going on. So there are a lot of so if you don't, I'll say now, if you don't like games with quick time events, you're probably not going to like this. And I personally don't mind. I actually quite like quick time event games. I'm quite good at them as well, which is obviously a bonus. But yeah, there is a lot of quick time events in this game, and there's a lot of interactable conversations in this game as well. So that is, I would say, about 75% of the game is them sort of things. Then you've obviously got the rest of the game is, like I was saying earlier, sort of classic, like classic Silent Hill, Resident Evil sort of thing. But again, I like I said, I really like that. I think it adds to the fear with the creepy camera angles and stuff like that. Then you've also got, as I've already discussed, the butterfly effect as well. So that really adds a new dynamic to the game as well. Being able to get all these different choices, and depending on what you choose, will have big outcomes in the game. And also, depending on the choices you make, or if you fail certain quick time events, it can result in the death of certain characters. Because like I was saying earlier, the game has got so many different options you can do, and because of that, it's got so many different endings. I mean, you can put in the game. I've played it through twice. First time I played it through, three of the characters died and 5 survived. Second time I played through it, I managed to get all of them to survive. So, but you can also get another ending where they all die, and you can get everything in between. So certain characters can die, certain characters can live. It really depends on all the choices, and I mean, I really like that as a gameplay aspect, but I also like that because it adds massive replayability to the game as well, because you'll want to play through it again and again to get all the different endings and to find out what happens to the different characters depending on the different choices. So yeah, I just really like the whole how the game is played out. I feel like it works really well. One aspect of the gameplay which I think Until Dawn has done better than any other PS4 game that I've ever played is the motion sensor. I mean, some games use motion controls in their games, but a lot of the time it's just a gimmick and it's a bit crap. That never really sort of works that well. Until Dawn is the first game where I've played it, and I thought the motion sensor on some parts of this game work amazingly well. Because there's some bits in the game where you'll be running from something and you'll have to hide, and when you hide, you then basically have to hold the controller really, really still, and you'll have like a little bar will come up on the screen. It will have like a little outline, and you've got to keep the light inside the white line. And if you move the controller too much, it'll go over the line. It will go red, and you've been found. And obviously, in some instances, it's not a big deal if that happens, but in some instances, it can mean a difference between life and death. And I really like that because it is really, really tense. like especially you've got something chasing you and you've got to hold the control pad still, and like you just stand there and you start sweating and you're thinking and you look at the marker, you can see shit, it's about to go out, I think I'm gonna fail this, and then it's a really good way of using the motion sensor. And I think a lot of games, if they're going to start going into sort of the interactive game route, sorry, I think that sort of motion sensor control, especially in horror situations, is just going to just make it even better. It just works so well. So I mean, in conclusion, Until Dawn, like as you can guess, I loved it. I thought it was a fantastic game. It's one of my favourite games of the year so far. It's one of my favourite games on the PlayStation 4 so far. And it's one of my favourite horror games that I've played in a long time as well. I can't really praise it enough. There's a few little niggly bits in there. Some of the gameplay mechanics, like when there's a lot of stuff you can interact with when you pick it up. And there's a lot of like hold R2, then move the right analog stick to look around at the thing, and that's fine at first, but after a while that does get a bit annoying. But I mean, other than that, I can't really think of any sort of faults with this game. I just think the only thing I would say as well actually is it's a bit short. I think the game took me about 6-8 hours first time through, but obviously because it's got the replayability value, that does extend it more. But first playthrough through it is quite short. So I suppose that's another gripe with the game as well. But other than that, graphics are stunning. The animation is incredible. The actors that both do the voices and the facial recognitions are all incredible as well. The music really creepy. It's got a great title song on there as well. I can't remember what it's called, but you'll hear it when you do the sort of the tutorial and you get into the main game. It's a great title song in the game as well, and it's also in the end credits too. And yeah, but I just can't praise this game enough really. I just thought it was done so well. The butterfly effect as well is done brilliantly. It's sort of again one of the first games that I've seen use this sort of the choice mechanic and actually do it really well. Yeah, so anyone who's a fan of survival horror games, I would highly recommend getting this game. And or if you just like the sort of the interactive movie games like Beyond Two Souls, Heavy Rain, stuff like that, again, I think you'll really enjoy this. And personally, I would give this game a 9 out of 10. And yeah, I just think you should definitely, anyone who likes survival horror games, definitely play this. Hey guys, thanks for watching another of Owen's awesome reviews of Until Dawn on the PlayStation 4. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please leave comments and also leave a like. And also, if you could subscribe to my channel, you can check out any new reviews that I do anytime soon, as well as check out any old videos that are already on my channel. Thanks a lot, bye.